Okay, so I want to tell a story about why I can't go back into the behavioral target. Okay, so I just moved, and this time, I want to take my time and get the things the way that I want them. So I have a really shitty IKEA lamp that was $8, a floor lamp for my room. And I'm sick of it. I hate that thing. It's a paper lantern. It's ripped. It like is so shitty. It's like so flimsy and ripped all the time. So I'm like, but okay, so then but like lights are such a personal thing, I think, and like there's so many different kinds of lamps, and it's like it says a lot about your personality, and then it also like says how the room's gonna be, and like anyway, so then I was like, I'm not gonna rush it. I'll find what my lamp is eventually. So then after a few weeks of like researching, I still haven't found one for the living room. It's been like months now, or a month, where I've been like researching. I'm leaning more Moroccan. But anyway, but for my bedroom, I'm like, that's me. I found this one. And okay, this story is about this lamp. I was like, this has to be my lamp. This is it. And then I found it. Well, actually, I found one that's like a Rachel Zoe lamp, but like it was too expensive, whatever. But I found one that looks like it at Target. Well, there's others, but the Target one was like pretty, but like also not that expensive. But it was $90, and I've never bought a $90 lamp, so I was like, do I commit? Okay, but here it's about this. So it's kind of cool. It's gold, and it's like very heavy, solid steel. It's really thick. Okay, so I was that's the one. So then I go to Target and I'm online and I'm like $90. So then I'm like I can find it cheaper. So I'm looking around and then I found some like used ones and I messaged the people, but then I find one on eBay and it's only like $50. And I'm like, okay, $50 for that lamp instead of 90? Sure. So I buy it on eBay. Okay, it did say refurbished, but anyway, it came from like a guy that's like a store or whatever. I was so excited. I immediately after purchasing it on eBay took the paper one and like kicked it and ripped it and then like put it in the guest room and closed it in there and then sat here in the dark. But anyway, I waited like a week or whatever and I came to my job along with like a $300 Amazon order that like a bunch of stuff, and my manager was like, "Did you order like a bunch of stuff?" And I'm like, "Fuck off!" Like anyway, so I got it at work. I brought it home. I was so excited. I started to build it. I didn't read the instructions, of course. And then like it's got rods inside the rod that you see, and it's like they're all pieces, and then you have to like build it together like into the stand up thing, and then the base is like super heavy fucking steel that's crazy, and it's like it's like square, so it has like really hard edges, and it's like scratching the gold, and then like the gold is like getting stained and also scratched, and I'm like dropping it because it's so heavy, and then like the wire's not long enough, and it's like drop. Oh my god, it was a mess. But like I finally built it. It took like over an hour, and then I cut my hand, and it was like bleeding out from the fucking crazy steel. And then I finish, and I'm like, wow, oh my god, so beautiful. And then, and then I go to screw in inside the globes, and then the globes are enormous, but the lamp, it's like those fucking weird light bulbs that are like they're like tiny little base screw base, and it's like not a regular size one that you have around the house, but it like totally looked like it would be, and I was like, fuck. So then I had to wait another day, and I sat here in the dark. I think I cried. I was so angry, and I was so excited but so angry. Okay. Plus, I hate yellow light, and some people come to my house and they're like, "Oh my god, it's like a hospital," but like I hate yellow light. Okay, so I go the next day during my break, and I think I went to Family Dollar first, and then they didn't have any LED ones, only the ones that are like the ones that get really hot. And I'm like, I'm not putting that in there. And I'm not gonna pay like, those are like twice as much. Actually, it's like four times as much power or something. And I'm like, LED, like what the fuck? Why there's no LED? They don't have it. And then I had to go to two other stores. I finally had to go to Home Depot, but it took like 3 days for me to find the light bulbs. Um, and then that are small enough, and then like a color that's not yellow, and also not the ones that like get really hot and burn. In fact, I had seen on the review that like one of them, somebody bought like one of those and it like burned the glass. Anyway, those are stupid. Nobody should own any of those. They shouldn't even sell. Okay, so all right, so I'm already super mad because it took so long, and then it took like 3 extra days, and I'm like telling my coworker, I'm like, oh my god, I can't find these light bulbs, and it's taking forever to like light this lamp. All right, I come home, I'm so excited. It's like 6 p.m. or whatever, and I like run straight to the lamp, and I screw in these motherfuckers. The light doesn't turn on, and I'm like checking the cord. There's like a battery thing on the cord, and then like I'm like trying, because these fucking outlets are weird. Like, it's those outlets that like if it's off, the things that are in the outlet won't turn on. And I'm like trying and I'm like start throwing things around the room again, because I'm like, I can't believe that I've waited this long. Okay, so then another night in the dark in my room. All right, so then I've already wasted so much, and I had already bought light bulb before it came because I was excited, and I thought they were gonna be the regular sized ones. So like I've already bought multiple light bulb, and I'm like, is it the light bulb? And I'm like reading on like the thing, like what it recommends, and I'm like, this is it. Like, don't gaslight me. And it's like it needs to have a ballast inside, like, and whatever the voltage. And I'm like, it's okay. It has to be like it's right. It's the lamp. The lamp is broken. And then I realized that there is like a tiny little LED light on the like cord, the battery that you plug into the wall, and it doesn't turn on, like a little red light. And I'm like, okay, it's definitely like a broken lamp. Okay, I have a broken lamp. I was hoping it was the light bulb. Like, all right, so then I'm like, fuck, I paid $50. I know the full price is 90. And like it came with like, how new things come with those like little stickers that say like turn here or turn on or insert here. It had all of that. It had like the bubble wrap, it had the styrofoam, it had the tape everywhere. Everything was right. So it was like brand new. It's just refurbished like from a store, like a factory. But I was like, fuck, man. How do I? And then I messaged the eBay seller after like a lot of coping about it all night. And then I'm like, I'm gonna have to return this bitch. And I don't know where it came from. It's heavy as fuck. It's a big ass box. Am I gonna have to pay shipping? Like, I just didn't. And then I'm like, I still want like, it has to be this lamp, because that was the whole point. Like, it has to be this one. It's me. So then I was just like, wait a minute. So I have the box, and Target's right there. So I go on, like I have everything. Like I have the manual, like it how it would come in the store. So then I went to the Target website and I searched for the model, and then it said the, like, you know how like put in your zip code, and it said that none of the Targets, there's like five around me, and like none of them carried this model, and I was like, all right, so much for that. And then I searched just the model, and then it said that the Haverhill Target, which is like actually like 30 minutes away, it's kind of far, I guess. And then I was like, all right, okay, so that's close to my job. So then I go during the next day. I stuff the lamp into the box. I didn't even take it apart with the light bulbs, and then I like stuff it in my car. I was so angry, like I was knocking stuff over, and it was like all scratched. The base was all scratched from when I built it. Oh my god! All right, so and then my finger, like with the band-aid from like cutting myself, bleeding all over it. Okay, and then okay, so I took it to work, and then during my break, I'm like, all right, scam. So I go to the Target, um, and I go in to the customer service, which is like, it's usually like a kiosk that's like right at the entrance behind a counter. And then there's like a Hispanic kid there, and he's like kind of chipper, and he's like, how can I help you today? And I'm like, man, I just moved, and I just got around to opening this. I don't have the receipt is the problem. Like, I bought it like over a month ago when I was moving, and I just got around to it, and like it doesn't work. I don't know why it doesn't turn on. I've tried everything. Maybe you can do something. I'm sure I got the right light bulb, but please take a look. I keep saying lamp because at work scientists call light bulbs lamps, and they call lamps no wait, luminaires. It's like such a nightmare. Okay, so the kid is like, oh my god, yeah, totally, I can take care of that for you. I'll do an exchange if we have it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds great. And then he plugs it in, and it really doesn't turn on. And he's like, wow, it really is broken. Oh, okay. In the car on the way, I realized that there's the UP. Sorry, the ghost is acting up. There's the UPS label is still on the box, and I try to peel it off, and it does that thing where like this adhesive, like it just doesn't come off, and it's like ripping, and I just like leave it. I'm like, I don't know. Let's see how far I get with this. It's probably not gonna work. I was fully prepared to like back out at any moment, and then but I carried it in, whatever, and then he was just like, all right, let me go check if we have it. And then he like checks the computer. He's like, wow, it looks like we have it. He's with this other kid. It kind of looked like they were training or something, like he was training him or something. And he was like, oh my god, it says we have one. That's great. And I'm like, whoa, great. I'm like, I already knew that. I'm like, what? Crazy. And then I'm like, can I follow you? So then I follow him there, and then I show him where it is. And I'm like, let me take it. And then I carry it back, and then there it is, brand new, $90. I'm like, I'm so close. And he's like, okay, so now that we have this, what I can do is, you have the credit card that you bought the original one with, right? I'm like, mm-hmm. And then he's like, okay, and then I can use a photo ID as well, and then you'll be all set. That's all I need for an exchange. And I was like, sure. I don't have any of that. So I go to the counter, and in my head I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? I don't like. I've never bought this. The credit card. Okay, so get ready. So he takes the box, the one that I brought, and then he scans the bottom, the barcode. He's like showing the kid. He's like, so it's like usually we just like underneath, and that's weird. Somebody like when somebody does this with a Sharpie, right here, it means that it's a what's it called? Oh, fuck. When defective. It's a defective product. So that's what we usually do. I don't know why somebody would sell you a defective lamp. And I was like, What? Let me see. I didn't know. I didn't know that. What? Show me. And he was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. This must have been like a mistake. They shouldn't have sold you this. He's like, that's funny. I'm like, that's weird. And and then so he got the other one, and then he says, all right, now can you give me your credit card from the original purchase? You still have that? Oh, I skipped the part. When we were walking to the exchange, he was like, so where did you move? And I was like, I moved to Boston. And he was like, oh, what store did you buy it at then? And I was like, oh, in this store is closer to my job, so I came here just because it was convenient, but it wasn't here that I bought it. He was like, oh, okay, so in Boston. And I was like, yes. And he was like, which one? And I'm like, you know, oh, there's so many boroughs. It was one of those, like I never know where. I just like drive to it and I don't know where I am. And he's like, yeah, got it, totally. I'm like, okay. So anyway, so he asks, okay, the credit card. And then I go, um, fuck. I think I forgot my wallet in my car. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back. Hold on. What I actually noticed is that I had lost my wallet. This happened maybe last Wednesday or something. And today is like, it's like Thursday already. And it's like, I have no idea where my fucking wallet is. I still don't know. But I did the scam without the fucking wallet. And I'm like, that's all I fucking needed. I came all this way. I swindled all these people. And I drove, I'm 40 minutes away from my house. I'm like, fuck. So in my car, I keep an emergency expired driver's license. Will turn off this part. I keep an emergency driver's license that is expired 2017. I actually have 3 scattered around my life because, well, as you can see, I lose my wallet all the time. So I have one in the car, but that does not solve the problem because I also need the credit card. And anyway, you'll see. So then I also keep an emergency credit card in my car. And so I take those. It's all I have. I still don't know where my wallet is. It's not in that car. And I take it back to the store and I'm like, listen, man, maybe I should just go home. This is just such a mess already. And he's like, what do you mean? What? And I'm like, it's a long story, but the last name on my driver's license doesn't match the one on my credit card. And then, but I'm the same person. It's just, I usually have to show a third ID because, and it's in my wallet and I forgot my wallet and it's to do with, I'm not a citizen. And he was just like, what? Just give it to me. And then, so at this moment, a squirrel, like Alvin and the Chipmunk, like it was a chipmunk actually, but a squirrel. It was like it could fit in my hand, and it okay. It walks through the double doors into the Target, and I turn around, and like everyone in the store just goes like this. And because like there was a little group forming like around it, and then girls started like kind of like cooing around, and then we're like, so everybody in the store is looking at the fucking squirrel, and it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. It walks in like it's a person, and it goes straight, like it knows where it's going. It like doesn't go into the warehouse that's the Target store. It goes into the customer service aisle where I am. It walks right past me, and I actually went, hi. and then it like walks behind the counter where the guy is, and everybody's just like, and people are like, there's girls following and taking videos. No one's doing a job anymore, and like, and it goes to the like shelves where you keep the returns, and then it stops. Well, actually, the customer service place is behind a counter, so it's the only place where it would have been cornered. So I don't know why it went there, and it just stops at the corner, like where the shelves are, and it just like looks at the products and then starts like cleaning its tail, and the kid in front of me like drops my card and just goes, uh, "Rachel, we're gonna need your customer service. Rachel, please, a manager, please." And it's like, and everybody in that store descends on this place with like boxes to catch the squirrel in, and the guy turns to me and goes, "Listen, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to take a Snapchat." And I was like, "It's fine." So everybody's recording the squirrel, which is like standing in the customer service returns, and I'm like, okay, this is my chance. I have to rip off the UPS label because this is happening. So while they're distracted, I like reach into the box and I rip out the lid, and I like rip out the cardboard lid and fold it and stick it in my pants, and it made such a huge noise. But and then somebody catches the squirrel and everything goes back to normal. The kid comes back to me, takes my credit card, tries it. Of course, there's no Target. I've actually never used that credit card. It's for emergencies. I keep it in the car. And then he doesn't find it, and he just like ignores and uses the ID and stores my George D'Abreu because the name is wrong. He scans it actually, and it's expired in. There's like a ghost in here. It expired in 2017. And I'm just like, I can't believe. And he gives me the receipt, and he's like, "Here you go." And it says $90, and then underneath it says 000. And then he gives me the new lamp, and I'm just like, I can't believe this. And I still don't know where my wallet is. Okay, so that's how I swindled Target, and that's why I can't go back because they have my name, and then they have this this guy is gonna be like looking around for this skunk head, and. But there's one more thing. I go, excuse me. Okay, this is kind of weird, but can I go back there? Can I take the light bulbs off of the lamp I returned because they're very small. It was really hard to find. I went to 3 different stores to find this. It took me 3 days. It was like, sure, and I'm like, read the box. It did not. It says did not come with it. Okay. And he's like, okay. So I took the light bulbs, I put them in my pocket, I went outside. The manager who had caught the squirrel, like Amanda or whatever, was like smoking. And then so I walk in like near my car. So then I like walk into the bigger part of the parking lot. I leave the new lamp like in the middle there. And then I like bring my car around, stick it in and go. So that's my Target story. The squirrel that perfectly timed came in and saved my day, and went straight into the customer service. And that's the story of the lamp, which works now and looks good, but you can't see it because it's too bright. And I emailed the eBay person, and I'm like, okay, never mind.